There is a problem. There is a problem that is currently plaguing League's creator community, and nobody is immune. Literally, if you right now upload a video using Riot's content, there is a chance you're gonna get hit. This is a big issue for two separate reasons. New creators might be afraid of making content on League of Legends, and already existing creators got into a situation where they may not be able to pay their bills. As a nice bonus, I don't know who's handling this system, but I can tell you right now, they don't know what they're doing. And so, let's dive into all of this. So, about 2 weeks ago, a lot of League's content creators started noticing that totally randomly, they started getting their videos claimed. This is odd because we're not talking about new videos, we're talking about someone claiming videos that are potentially years old. Now, on YouTube, unfortunately, this is nothing new. YouTube's ID system is so brittle you can sneeze and accidentally get the rights to a video you don't even own. How do I know this? Well, I've been making League videos for so long that as the ID system started rolling out, it thought that I own the Varus cinematic. We'll get to that funny rabbit hole in a second. But this means that content ID abuse is very common on YouTube. Sometimes you get a totally random artist who remixed a piece of music, after which it starts matching against the original music and now the new artist can start claiming all of those songs. And sometimes you have companies owning the music used in a video game and they start claiming all of its content despite commentary in general being fair use. And I mean, who would pass on some extra revenue, right? And let's not talk about Nintendo. They've had their own episodes of claiming everything. Now, what's craziest is that in League's case, this happened many times before. The funniest incident happened when someone made a song by remixes Nasus's voice lines. They released that song as a separate piece with its own ID, and then Skin Spotlights got a copyright claim on his original voice lines of Nasus as a result. And so yes, YouTube's system is not ideal, but it does have some safety nets just in case. And thankfully, that might be the only light at the end of the tunnel. And so, let's have a look at what is even going on. As I mentioned, about 2 weeks ago, pretty much every creator who used any kind of Riot's music in their video before got a claim. This means we are talking about people getting 20, 30 or 40 claims in a week. And if you have a look at one of these claims, you might notice that this was claimed by Virgin Music Group on behalf of Riot Games. This is a very important detail. It is not Riot who is doing this is the Virgin Media doing it on their behalf. Which means that thankfully Riot are still the owners of their music. Virgin is just their new distributor. Meaning that their only job is to make sure this does not happen. This is literally their point. It is to distribute music, but they are not selling it, because Riot is not selling albums. They just handle the copyrights and they handle how the music is used around the internet. Meaning that none of this should be happening in the first place. But now you may be asking, well, doesn't Riot have the right to do this anyway? Well, I'm not a lawyer, but there is a good chance they are not. And that's all because of their legal Jibberjabber. Yes, this is Riot's official name for their official policies. And you know this is all official because they call upon the Demacian High Court. Okay, it is more because they actually reference the terms of use, which is an official document. Anyway, here in the legal Jibberjabber, they specifically talk about what kind of content people can make. Because Riot knows that content creators are part of their DNA. And so in the first part, they talk about what kind of projects and apps you can make. And in the second part, they say that you can't work on commercial projects, which means you can't resell their music or any other kind of their content. This includes stuff like crowdfunding or paywalls. But there are 3 exceptions, with the first exception being ad revenue. Even if they have Riot's IP, you are allowed to promote projects, websites, videos and streams if the income it gets is passive through ads. The only thing they ask for is no inappropriate ads, and they do reserve the right to decide what is inappropriate. Of course, there's also an exception for donations for streamers, and also for premium apps if they comply with their API. But for now, let's just focus on the ad revenue. According to Riot's legal Jibberjabber, they should not be able to do this. What's even funnier, people started getting claims for using sessions. Now, sessions is a special kind of music that Riot made themselves to make sure that streamers and content creators have royalty-free music. Yes, this was literally made for streamers. So why is this happening? But the fact that this even happened immediately spun out of control, because this rabbit hole does go slightly deeper. So after a lot of content creators started complaining, and I mean this hit about half of the entire scene, Riot had to look into what is actually going on, and thankfully they gave us this official statement. Over the past week, we've been migrating the Riot Games music catalog to a new distribution partner. The migration process unfortunately resulted in some creator-safe songs triggering copyright claims. This was unintentional, and we are currently working with Virgin to get this solved ASAP. In the meantime, if you get any claims on your content, please submit an appeal with your content platform, and you can also submit a ticket and we'll be on the standby to lift these claims. So all is good, Riot knows this is happening and they are working on a solution. But this is where we get to the multiple layers. First of all, this is still potentially gonna do a lot of damage to a lot of creators for one simple reason. After a video gets a copyright claim and you dispute it, which is exactly what Riot is asking you to do, there is a 30-day period before this all goes through. Now thankfully YouTube did make a new system that helps going through this entire phase. What used to be the case once upon a time is that after you got a claim by someone else, that someone else started getting the revenue from your video until YouTube was like, whoops, actually it belongs to someone else. So you can imagine how much this system was abused. Even if it was a false claim, whoever filed it got some money. So now YouTube is doing something else. What they do is that they freeze all the revenue generated by the video, they wait until it is resolved, and then the winning side gets the revenue that was generated. This is great and we should be happy that this exists. But it may still take up to 30 days to resolve this. Which means that if people are making new videos that get claimed this month, they are not gonna get paid the next month. It will all pile up until the next cycle. So it is possible a lot of creators won't be able to cover their bills. This is a big issue and Virgin needs to fix this as soon as possible. Because they should have the power to lift everything before the end of the month. If they don't, let's just hope people are responsible with their finances. Now, I have to say, I understand why the ID claim system is here in the first place. It is to make sure that Riot holds the IP and no one is abusing it, as I mentioned before. What I do not understand is that when a match happens, why is the auto claim on? This should be a setting somewhere in the system. It is good that it is protecting the ID, but the system is not claiming anything by default. This has to be some kind of Virgin automation that they made themselves. And let me tell you, some of the claims that go out of this automation are hilarious. I already mentioned that these claims mostly aim at the music that Riot made, but in my case, something funny happened. You see, I started getting claims only about 4 days ago. And it started with my Dominion montage. This was a video I released about 13 years ago and I made it private because it was horrible. That's right, they claimed a privated video, which is a video that nobody can see. This makes it obvious that this is some kind of stupid automation. But that's not even the funny part. The fun comes in when we have a look at the other claims. For example, they got Drew. And if there's something I learned, you do not go after Drew. The only reason why that video got claimed is because there was a little section where I played the Shaco and Lulu theme while I was scrolling through Drew's 400 tweets. Then there is a claim on a video where I announced that I would be streaming. That stream happened 7 years ago. I also got a claim on an MMO video because I played the music from the Ruined King game as I was showing people the cool locations. But the best claim I got is on the lore video for Varus. Because you know what got claimed in that video? That's right, the cinematic with the music video. Which according to YouTube, I own. Like literally, here is the list of the people making videos using this cinematic. Here is a video using 100% of my video apparently. Which means I actually have the power to be fraudulent. And I can claim the revenue of anyone who even talks about Varus' cinematic. Slow and reverbed version of the song? I didn't like that trend anyway. But in all seriousness, how is it possible that if someone owns a video, even if it is by a mistake, why can someone claim the video with an ID using the same ID which that person owns in the system? This claim literally says, you own this, well they own it too, and now they own it all. The entire thing is just a massive mess. And so right now, everyone is waiting to see just how fast Virgin is gonna be with lifting all the copyrights. Because there is the potential to do a lot of damage. Now, according to the information I have, if any creators get a copyright, they can message the creator support that Riot has and they have the tools to lift those claims. But first of all, if there is like 40 claims, am I supposed to link everything? And secondly, what if someone is not in the League partner program? What if it is a random person who just likes making League videos? What if it is Nicky Boy? Well, in that case, you are in trouble.